What's up guys, it's Caitlin B and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing a really exciting video that I've been wanting to do for a while now because I got a comment on one of my videos. One of you guys requested for me to do a video all about how to get over your first love. How do you know you are in love? When's the right time to say it? Should you say it first? All these questions about love, but mainly focusing on how to get over your first love, how to get over this heartbreak and moving on. I have been through a lot of shit with boys. I've gone through many relationships. A lot of them clearly did not work out, and I actually have never really opened up about them on YouTube before. So if you guys want more relationship videos, my story time, I have so many for you guys. So let me know if you want that by giving this video a thumbs up and also leaving me a comment below because I would love to film that for you guys if you're interested. I love this topic because it is something that we all can relate on. All of us go through this at some point in our lives, and if you haven't been through it yet, I hope this doesn't discourage you by any means, but I think our first love definitely serves as a lesson and allows us to grow so much. And I have a lot of great advice for you guys. And I'm also gonna be answering some specific questions at the end that you guys have snapped me or tweeted to me, and I'm gonna read them off live as they come in. I have a feeling this is gonna be a long video, so grab your dinner, grab some snacks, a drink, and let's just get into this because I have a lot to say. First thing to know is just acknowledge that your feelings are 100% completely valid, no matter what anyone else says. And your first love is quite possibly the hardest to get over. The best thing you can do is to find a friend, a sibling, your mom, a relative, someone that you can confide in that's also been through this. And this can be really hard, especially when you're young. So my first love, at least I thought it was love at the time, was when I was like really young, like maybe 8th grade, 9th grade, and that may sound really young to you, but I know some people have definitely felt like they were in love before that, and some people may not have found their first love yet, and some people may have found that love in their 20s or 30s, and it's not something that you can really put a time frame on, like you have to be this age or it's not real love. You can for sure be young and in love, so don't let anyone tell you that you weren't in love just because you were super young and you don't really know what that is yet. Whatever you're feeling and you two are feeling is completely valid, so don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Finding that person or even multiple people that you can confide in that's been through the same thing is really gonna help you, and you need that support system during this time. I know for me, like I said, I was really young when I went through my first heartbreak, and I didn't really have that many people around me that have gone through that because I was so young. So a lot of my friends weren't in relationships, or else they weren't that invested in each other because we were young. So a lot of people just kind of dated for like 2 weeks and then we're kind of over it. But for me, I was always a relationship person. I liked being in relationships and long-term relationships. So I definitely like took it hard, obviously, and it was really hard to get over. I'm like, how do I do this? But I've also really prided myself on always being able to see beyond like the short term. This video is also gonna be getting darker and darker. I apologize if the sun is going down, but I've always been able to pride myself on being able to see past the short term, and I've always been kind of a more rational person when I'm going through a grieving or healing process, but not everyone is like that, and especially when you're young, it's really hard. And when you do get older, they may even be harder to get over because you probably had a deeper relationship, you connected on more levels. To me, your first love is so hard to get over because you shared so many new experiences and adventures with each other. Maybe you guys traveled together. Wow, something is going on above me. I don't know what that is. Probably laughed harder than you ever had with this person and cried harder than you ever had. And just all those experiences are what you remember after your heartbreak, especially initially. All your mind wants to go to is all of those memories that you shared together that you're not gonna make anymore. And I think that's one of the hardest things to realize right away, is that you're not gonna be making any more of those. This is a lot easier said than done. It's gonna take a lot of time, but you have to realize it wasn't a perfect relationship. Perfect relationships don't exist, first and foremost, but it wasn't the right one. And once your heart is broken, I know that, especially for me, all I wanted to remember was all of the good times that I shared with this person and that I'm not gonna have again. And your mind just only wants to think of those good times and super fun times, and then text them that you miss them and that this isn't right, you guys shouldn't break up. And by doing so, you're blocking out all of the bad times, the negative, the uncomfortable, because that's what we do. And your friends may be telling you to stop doing that, and maybe your friends are trying to remind you of the bad times and you still want to kind of block that out. I am 100% guilty of this, and I have friends that have admitted to doing this as well. And it's weird because when you don't really think about those bad times and experiences as they're happening, maybe maybe you're not being treated that well in a relationship, sometimes you convince yourself that it didn't happen because you're not telling other people, and you're like, oh yeah, we have this great relationship, and everyone else sees this perfect relationship. And that way, when you downplay it to other people so much that you kind of convince yourself that it wasn't that bad, and that is toxic for you to do to yourself. You have to be honest with yourself, and if you're not honest with yourself, then you're gonna drive yourself insane, and any chance that you have of moving on from this relationship is gonna be that much harder. But also acknowledge that you are remembering those good times because you still really love that person, and it's not gonna go away right away. So don't let anyone tell you that you should be getting over your feelings right away and you should be moving on and not wallowing, because everyone grieves in a different way. Some people, it may seem like it takes a way shorter amount of time, but often that's just because they have a different way of coping with it and they're blocking it out. Personally, I'm someone who grieves in a way that I block out with the reality, and I try not to think about it as much as I can. I push it to the back, and I distract myself. I'm such a distraction person, and that can be a good thing, that can maybe be a bad thing. But it just depends on the person and how you're grieving. But just know that everyone grieves differently. So little advice for you, if your friend is going through this and you find that it's all they talk about and they're always coming to you, don't push them away, because they're coming to you because they really trust you and they value your opinion and your support, and they really need you right now. And just know that it all goes I can't talk today. It all goes full circle, and one day, soon or later, you're gonna need that person as well. You're gonna have some kind of heartbreak. You're gonna be going through something in your life at some point that is really negative, and you may be the lowest that you've ever been, and maybe you're so happy right now and you can't see that and you're like, just move on. But don't be that. Oh my god, my TV just turned on. What the heck? That was terrifying. Okay, one second, I'll find the remote. As I was saying, there is going to be the time where you are going to need a friend, a shoulder to cry on. It may not be a breakup, it could be anything, but you are going to need that support system as well. We all need a support system. So don't push that person away. If it's annoying, just know that they really need you at this time, and they may not have anyone as close to them as you that they can confide in and trust in, and so that's maybe why they're coming to you so often. Some people have multiple people that they can talk to, so they don't like feel like they're annoying people, but just be grateful that that person trusts you enough to talk to you all the time and want to talk to you about this. Definitely be that person to help show your friend that there is more to her than this relationship. None of us are defined by our relationship. We are so much more. Going along with that, the biggest thing that you can do to help yourself move on from this is to surround yourself with friends and with positivity in general. Whatever it is that makes you feel so good and positive, think of all those things. Make a list of all the things that make you feel good about yourself inside and outside. This may be certain friends, this may be certain movies, this could be food, this could be certain areas around your town. Like, write down everything that you love that makes you genuinely happy. This could be family, friends. Like I said, it could be anything, but make a list of those things, be cautious of those things, and make sure you're surrounding yourself with those things as often as you can and with as many as you can. So maybe bring a friend to your favorite spot, invite some friends over, watch one of your favorite movies. Do things that make you happy. Try your hardest not to let yourself sit down and watch a sad movie, or watch a movie that you guys loved and watched together, or listening to your guys' song. Because honestly, doing those things is more than likely gonna cause you to call them up, to send them a text message, an email, a Facebook, something to try to mend this relationship or have some contact with that person. Because for me, the hardest thing when getting over a breakup, or your first love especially, is going from talking every single day to all of a sudden not talking to that person. And it's so weird because you're like, where is this person? Like, why are they out of my life as just a friend? And there's gonna be so many instances where you think about this person. Little things are gonna trigger that person throughout the day. Like, you may be passing by a store in the mall and you're like, oh, they would look so cute in this shirt, and you're gonna wanna send them a picture of it. Or maybe you see a Facebook video and you're like, oh, this would be super funny. You wanna tag them in it. Like, so many things are gonna make you wanna do those things, but don't do them. The more energy that you put into trying to get yourself back together with this person, or trying to maintain some contact with this person, 100%, the further you're gonna distance yourself from this person. Trust me on this. That will never work. We do crazy shit when we are in love, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, why did I do that? Oh my gosh, I regret this, and you can't take it back. Do yourself a favor, and when you think a crazy thought, or even if you don't think it's crazy at the time, let yourself sleep on it. And in the morning, if you think that it's really a good idea for you to do this, oftentimes you should confide in a friend. They're gonna tell you, don't don't do it and knock some sense into you. But I find that getting a good night's sleep, resting on it, thinking about it the next day, a lot of times I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I even thought about doing that. That's insane. Like reality sinks in and then I'm like, okay, I'm so glad I didn't do that. Another thing I often recommend to my friends that are going through this, and it's really, really helped them, if you want to send them a message, like a text message or however you guys communicate, instead write it down in like a letter. So take out a piece of paper and write them down exactly what you wanted to say to them. It could even just be like a dear blah blah, like a formal letter. Pretend that you're writing it to this person, let out everything that you're feeling at that moment. Again, no one is actually going to read this, but write down everything that you want to say to this person. Fold it up once you're done, put their name on it if you want, whatever. You can even put it in an envelope if you want to get real fancy, and just put it away like in your desk, out of sight. After you write it, just put it away. And then oftentimes you will either go to sleep or like go to sleep for the rest of the week and kind of forget that you wrote about it. And once you find it, or once you think about it the next morning, you're like, oh my God, I'm so glad I got that off my chest. And I'm so glad I did not send that. A lot of times we just need to vent and we just want to get it off our chest and feel like we wrote it to that person. But in the back of our heads, we know that's not what we should do. And we'd be really embarrassed if they actually read that. We're such compulsive people and we just want to say what's ever on our mind right away. Send them an I miss you because you just want that gratification. You want to know that they still care about you, but just know that they do still care about you even though they're not saying it. Everyone grieves, again, in a different way. Mind over matter. Sometimes you just have to tell yourself over and over that you are doing fine, that you are good. So just keep doing what you're doing, keep being you, boo. Like I said, when you surround yourself with more positive things, positive aspects in your life, you're going to be a more positive person. You are who you surround yourself with, so surround yourself with positive people, do positive things. What I like to do is focus on something and accomplishing it. Like I like to start a new painting and just paint, and like painting just lets me feel everything and just like get it all out. I get so calm and like it just such a stress reliever for me. Also thinking of a new song to play on the piano, like I will just delve into that so much and like focus all my energy on doing something, and it's doing something positive because I feel good when I learn something new and I'm doing something fun and different, and it just takes your mind off of it so much. So whatever that is for you, it may be going on a run or just getting back into working out more regularly or doing art, whatever it is, delve into it. As corny as this sounds, your first love, your first heartbreak is literally the first chapter in your book of all the relationships and love that you are going to experience in your life. This is literally just the beginning. I full-heartedly believe that people come into our lives either to serve as a blessing or a lesson, and your first love is 100% a lesson. You'll look back at this person years from now and actually be grateful that you had them in your life when you did, because more likely than not, it's gonna teach you something about yourself. And this isn't gonna be right away. You're not gonna look back on this in a week and be like, what did I learn from this? I didn't learn anything. Like, I just want this person back. So you're not gonna see this right now, but take this piece of advice with you. It may be sooner, it may be later, but just know it's probably not gonna happen right away. But I look back on my first love and I'm like, I'm so glad that I experienced that, especially at a young age for me, because it taught me what I deserve and what kind of guy I am supposed to be with, and that will help me build me up instead of tear me down. And maybe this person wasn't a bad person. Like maybe they have great character, maybe they didn't treat you that poorly, but he just wasn't the one. And that's something that so many people can't realize. And it really makes me so sad, because if this person doesn't want to be in my life, whether it be a guy that I'm interested in or even just a friend, why would I want to put energy or time into wanting this person back or wanting this person in my life if they're not going to give me the time of day, and if they're not going to give me the love and attention that I deserve? Then why would I want this person in my life? Like, you are so much more than that. And don't let them play you like a fiddle, because so many of them are gonna do that, especially when you start manifesting and attracting all this positivity. You are going to be such a more positive person out of this. That's when the crawling baby is gonna come back to you. I pegged it the crawling baby because literally as soon as you feel good and you've moved on and you're doing so much better, maybe you're talking to a new person, they just know. But it's not even that they just know, it's that they see and they hear that you're doing well, they see you're looking great. That's when they want you back. And guess what? You're not gonna give them that time of day. You're not gonna give them that satisfaction. And you know why? Because you are better than that. Why would you want to die regret. After you've made all this progress and you're feeling so good, why would you want to go back to this person? I can promise you that I have never like backtracked to someone who has ever treated me poorly, and I've realized it. But a lot of people do that, and I don't understand it, but I want you guys to know that. And maybe you've done it before, but you are not. And maybe you've done that before, and you know what? That's okay. We all make mistakes, but you are not going to do it again. You are not going to do it again. So promise me right now, you will not do that again. You will not fall back to that guy, because you will not fall back to that guy or girl because he does not deserve you at all. He let you go. She let you go. He or she was stupid and they let you go. And your ex, your first love was stupid and let you. Your first love was stupid and let you go, and you are incredible, and you do not deserve that person in your life at all. And I know a lot of you are gonna be like, well, I just wanna be friends with this person. Like, it's totally fine to just be friends. Like, I want them in my life. But a lot of times we say that, but we subconsciously are hoping that it turns into something more again. You know, we tell ourselves and we tell our friends that, no, we just wanna be friends with them. But you know, and I know that you're more likely than not want something more of this or want it to turn into something more. Just don't even go there, because there are so many other people out there that are so much more attractive than your ex, so much smarter, so much funnier, so much fun, so much smarter, so much funnier, and just fits and just compliments you so much better. So it may not seem like that, especially if you are in middle school or in high school, because you are just confined to like this certain amount of people, and you feel like you're almost in this bubble where other people don't exist in this world. But take it from me, the second you go to college, hello, so many options, it's amazing. So many options, it's amazing. You are gonna be like, okay, bye, I'm so over this person. Like I said in the beginning, I asked you guys on Snapchat and Twitter to send me in some questions for a chance to be featured in my video. First question comes from GRHMC126. How did you know you were in love with your boyfriend? By the way, love you. I love you too. Our relationship started from a best friendship. If you guys haven't seen the story of us, I will put that in the info bar above. It's a really cute story. When you're best friends with someone, you automatically kind of like love that person, you know what I mean? You spend so much time with them, you just love who they are. I just thought he was so fun and such a good person, and I always thought that he was someone that I would love to marry one day. Like, he just had all the qualities of someone that I wanted to be with, and I'm like, oh, he was just so perfect.
What do you do if someone tells you they love you and you're not entirely sure you're ready to say it back?
That is a great question, Amanda. Love is something that is such a big step to say that to someone, and it's something that you can't force, and it can be really awkward if someone tells you that they love you and you're like, what? When we're younger, especially, guys, girls, they just want to say it right away because maybe they like this person more than they have ever liked someone, and so they're automatically like, oh, this is love. You just have to kind of follow your gut on this, your instinct, but just being honest with that person, letting them know exactly how you feel. You're not there yet, but you really appreciate it. They should respect that, and if they don't, then bye. Is having a long distance relationship hard, and what do you guys do to make the relationship work? That is from the Curlies, so thank you for your question. Long distance relationships are definitely hard, but they're kind of as hard as you make them. So if you guys are both invested in it and you guys want the same things, you have to kind of discuss that before you go in the long distance relationship. That's a huge deal breaker. I find a lot of people, one person in the relationship wants something different and the other wants something different, but then you guys are like, whatever, we'll just make it work. Yeah, it's gonna be fine and we'll work it out. But when you go in with that mindset, you're just setting yourself up for failure, almost like you're gonna be walking on eggshells, and you may be on different pages and you're just gonna grow more and more apart. So you just have to both want the same things, put in the effort to talk to each other, see each other as often as you can. I try to see Alex at least once, twice a month. Aaron Idelson wants to know, do you love me as much as I love you? Yes, I love you more.
I'm a girl who's never been in love before. What is the feeling and how you know that he's the one? Love you and thanks. Also, how to avoid fuckboys. difficult.
Very, very difficult. That is from Desma Lee. Again, I kind of already answered that first question. Also, though, don't worry if you haven't been in love. It doesn't matter if you are 15 and you haven't experienced love. It doesn't matter if you're 35 and haven't experienced your first love. You will experience your first love as long as you put in time and effort to go out and meet people, especially if you're in this bubble. It can be hard to meet people and you're like, I can't see myself with any of these people. How to avoid fuckboys. Fuckboys lurk in high schools and even middle schools, but mostly in the high schools, they lurk. And especially in college, they're gonna be everywhere. And you just gotta watch for it. Know that most college guys have ulterior motives, and you just gotta see through it and be like, you know, this person is up to no good, and I don't like it. What's the most important part of a relationship? Love you and your videos. Oh, you're so cute. Oh my gosh, she's gonna send many questions and I can't remember all of these. I'm gonna screenshot, oh crap. This is from Josie, by the way. Okay, so these are gonna be the last questions that I answer. So her first question is, what's the most important part of a relationship? Everyone values different traits differently. For me, I think loyalty is the biggest thing. The most important part of a relationship. If you guys are on different levels of, you know, loyalty, if someone is loyal, the other person is not, then that's just like setting a recipe up for failure. So make sure you're on the same page with that. Don't go for a guy who's known to be a little sketchy or like play girls and is a fuckboy like I just talked about. Make sure that they're a trustworthy, honest person. You don't want a sketchy person. I think for me, that's like the most important thing. What is the most important advice that you can give someone who is looking to get into a relationship? Love you in your videos. Again, I love you, Josie. Make sure that you are comfortable with yourself and that you're not looking for a relationship just to gain attention from someone else or for someone to tell you like you're pretty or that you're so great and, you know, like feed you compliments all day. Like, don't let your emotional stability depend on a guy, and if that's what you're looking for, whether consciously or, you know, not, just don't worry about getting into a relationship. Wow, this video ended up being really long. I'm gonna have to cut this down a little bit, but I'm not gonna cut it down like crazy amount because I want all this information to go out there. So yeah, you guys may have eaten breakfast, lunch, and dinner to get through this video, but hopefully it helped you out. And again, if you have a friend who is going through this, send them this video, help them out, or just take some information and write it down and let them know. And let them know that you are here for them. Just help your friends out. If you are going through it yourself, I hope so much that this video helped you, or you took even just one little bit of advice from this video, because getting through your first love is especially so hard. And I do just want to say before I leave that I actually don't agree with the common statement that your first love is the one that you will never truly get over. I just don't agree with that because I look back and I'm completely over them, and it doesn't mean that I wasn't in love with that person. And it just means that I've grown so much as a person, and it's been years, and I have grown to love myself more, and I've loved another person. I think you can 100% get over that person and it can still have been love. If you guys enjoyed this video or want more relationship advice videos or just sit down chatty videos like this, then please give this video a thumbs up to let me know, and also leave me a comment below. If there's any other certain topics that you want me to talk about, hit that subscribe button, become part of the family. I love you guys so much. But other than that, I will see you guys next time, and I love you guys so much. Mwah!